welcome bring his ass to this ring. Give me a hell yeah.
Hell yeah, we're back once again live inside of your computer for SCI Wrestling. I'm WB Ward.
And I'm Chip Douglas.
And, hey, welcome back, dude.
Thank you. Every time I hear that opening, you know, I picture Steve Austin with the beer as soon as he says it, and then just starts chugging the beer.
You know, it's funny you should say that, because I was watching some videos of him a little earlier.
On WB Network?
Yes, as a matter of fact. And I don't ever recall seeing him miss a beer that somebody threw to him. Did you ever see that?
Very, very rarely did he ever miss one.
I don't think I've ever seen him miss.
And honestly, I think it was more the thrower's fault when he does miss.
Yeah, I could see that. But, you know, those cans are wet.
Yes.
Guy is a diehard beer drinker.
But you're right. He very rarely missed.
I've never seen it.
And he would have like 2 or 3 of them. So he'd have like 2 in his hand. He'd be catching them with one hand, especially the second and third one.
You know, I think he misunderstood when they go to the gym and they're trying to achieve a 6-pack. I think he kind of misunderstood what they meant by that.
Yeah.
I don't think he ever quite got that, but at least he did own a good career.
That's true.
Out of it, so.
True. Not too bad, to be honest.
Okay, got big. I don't know whether to call this a big pay-per-view or not.
Well, it's supposed to be.
And isn't Survivor Series the next oldest pay-per-view that they have?
I think besides, well, it very well could be. I mean, it's WrestleMania's number 1.
Sure, that's the oldest.
Boy, they started doing Royal Rumbles like in 90. Survivor Series was before that. I think it was before SummerSlam, so it could be.
But
it very well could be.
You remember here a while back, I was saying I hope the WWE Network doesn't get this idea of, they're only paying $9.99 a month. What do they want? Right. Now they're giving it away free, and
I'm still mad because the fact that I still have to pay $10.
And you know, there's only 3 matches on the card. I was not able to find anything other than the Survivor match.
Right.
Ambrose versus Wyatt, and then the Fatal 4-Way with Golden Stardust versus the Usos versus the Matadores versus Miz and Mizdow.
We got AJ versus Nikki Bella.
Now, I was not able, that's what I thought,
yeah,
but I was not able to find that on the WWE.com.
It's been confirmed.
All right.
It's been stamped.
Still, that's only 4 matches.
I know.
Okay. Now, that was who?
AJ Lee versus Nikki Bella for the Divas Championship.
Okay, we're going to go over a few predictions that we have.
4 matches? How in the world do they expect to pull off a pay-per-view of 4 matches?
And the pay-per-views are usually, 3 hours?
Yeah. Well, yeah, about 2.5, 3 hours, yeah. Man, I mean,
maybe not this one, but it's free. And of those who are spending, they're only spending $10 for it, so...
But there's so many different avenues that they can go.
I know.
I mean, it's pathetic to me that they won't go the obvious direction. But I'll talk about it here in a little bit.
Okay, yeah. Right now, let's go ahead and turn out the high tech equipment here and get the tweet of the week going.
Woohoo!
Count it down, Lurch.
Now.
10,
yes.
9, 8, 7,
yeah.
6,
and
5,
yeah.
4,
yeah.
3,
okay.
2,
yeah.
1.
Now what?
0.
Yeah.
What time is it, kids?
Whoa! It's like a fresh Sunday morning with a good pot of coffee on brewing.
Or just after a huge mill passing wind.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
I did that at work today and totally just walked off.
Just blame it on the loose floorboards. That's what I do.
Oh, that's horrible. Today's tweet of the week is brought to you by The Real Al Snow, which is actually Al Snow.
Yeah.
And here's the quote.
Okay.
It's a quote and a comment about the quote. I never mix business with pleasure. Have you ever heard that quote before?
Yes.
All right. And he goes, says the world's worst prostitute.
Yeah, okay. I can see that coming from Al Snow.
Oh.
Al Snow's he's just wondering how come you're not allowed to kiss a prostitute.
That's true.
Yeah, okay.
That's true.
Now, back to our matters at hand.
Yep.
This coming Sunday night is, I want to say a big pay-per-view, but I'm having a hard time calling it that because it just doesn't seem to have it.
No.
Now, it is going to be live from the Scott Trade Center in St. Louis. Which, with that by itself, it's with its geographic location and the current local politics up there, that could in itself.
That's St. Louis, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
St. Louis Mo. Tickets start at $25, go up to $1,000.
Right.
And I certainly hope their screwy local politics up there are not going to stand in the way of a pay-per-view.
That's true.
It could. I mean, it's getting pretty dicey up there.
What's going on? I have no idea what's going on.
Oh, the Ferguson.
We're still talking about that?
Yeah. Well, they're anticipating possible riots because
again.
The grand jury is expected to come back and say whether or not they're going to indict the officer. And
good Lord.
based on their decision, they're really amping up a lot of ammunition and riot guards, and it's craziness. I mean, it's just absolute craziness.
Wow.
So, and they are expecting the grand jury back any day, which could lead up to this Sunday.
That's true.
I'm hoping
That's true.
I hate to see any community deteriorate like that.
Right.
Regardless as to which side of the fence one may be on. But my God, my hearts and prayers are with everybody up there for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Back on to the livelier events of the day.
Yes.
We've got 4 matches confirmed for this pay-per-view, and we're less than a week away.
And let me finish my thought.
Oh, okay.
Because 4 matches, to me, which is asinine. They could have easily put the NXT Championship on the line on this pay-per-view. Why not showcase some of your up-and-coming talent?
Absolutely. And incidentally, just as a footnote here, we don't know that they won't.
Well, they just did a championship bout this past Thursday on NXT, which they still very well can. But
Sure.
But it would be so easy to do that. You could have another undercard match. I mean, why on earth would you have a fatal 4-way tag team match? Instead, why don't you just have a tag team championship match and then number 1 contendership match? I mean, there's so many different avenues they could have gone.
And, of course, they can mix the 2 promotions together. Like, for instance, I don't think Randy Orton will be there. But, just as an example, let's say Randy Orton crashed the party on Sunday night and then issued an open challenge to any of these new young punks to come out to the ring.
Or an even better idea, won't you have, since this is like, I don't know if this is like a special year, if it's like the 20th or, it can't be the 20th anniversary of it.
I don't know.
But if it was like a special year, bring back Legends to have, one of those old school Survivor Series matches with Legends. That'd be just a special attraction show that you match that you could do very easily, very, very easily.
They certainly got enough of them.
Exactly, you have enough people. You could easily do it. Even you could do it just right out the bat. You could do it on the pre-show. It'd be a fun little match to watch.
Now, did you hear about the kickoff show?
No. With Bad News Barrett?
Yes.
Yeah, he's going to be on the panel.
He's going to be on the panel. I wonder if he is soon going to be back into the ring.
Well, I think it's just a matter of time.
I hope so.
Yeah.
His presence has definitely been missed.
Especially with his gimmick. Just his gimmick alone.
Oh, yeah, and that was picking up steam. And originally, I didn't care much for it. But
I hated it at first.
It grew on me.
Yeah.
I've got some bad news for you.
Yes.
I think it was just a natural for him. And by golly, I'm glad to see him back. Lord knows WWE is in need of some good talent. Now, when he comes back, if they'll just use him right.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go ahead and do a couple of predictions here.
Okay.
Let's start with the Divas match.
Okay, good.
AJ versus Nikki.
Okay.
I'm going to throw my money over at AJ.
I'm actually going to say Nikki.
Oh, good. We have a little bit of disagreement there.
There's a little bit of speculation going on that this actually could be AJ's last match at WWE.
No, I've heard that rumor too, and I think it's been pretty well squashed.
Oh, has it?
Yeah.
Okay.
But you're too late.
I would still take Nikki.
Okay. Nikki Bella. And isn't this marking the 30 days of the Be My Bitch contingency over with?
I think so.
So maybe Brie will exact some revenge.
She very well could. Very well could.
Okay, I'm going to let you do the first prediction on this with a fatal 4-way. Golden Stardust versus the Usos versus Los Matadores versus The Miz and Mizdow.
I'm going to go ahead and stick with the Goldie brothers. Goldust and
Dang it.
Stardust.
I was afraid you were going to say that because I am too.
Yeah.
I just don't see this as being their time to lose.
No, I mean, the Usos to me would be the only challenge. Those Matadors doesn't make sense.
No.
The Miz, Sandow, I can see them doing something weird to kind of start their feud off.
I was just going to say, I think
match.
this will be the beginning of the split for them.
Yeah, or they can give them the titles and then they could happen after that. But I don't see that happen. I think it's going to be.
You are
Goldust
already
Stardust.
starting to see bits of that split now.
Oh yeah,
in the
absolutely.
matches.
Absolutely.
And of course, at the time that we're producing this show, Raw has just happened.
Yep, last night.
But by the time some people hear this before the pay-per-view, there in fact may be a split going on because we still have the main event coming up. We've got SmackDown coming up on Friday. So, forgive us if this is dated information and the split's already began if you hear this by then. It could happen. It could happen at any moment because things happen quickly in the WWE sometimes. I never thought I would say this, but on the next match, I honestly don't care. Ambrose versus Bray Wyatt.
Really?
With those two guys in it, I never thought I would ever hear myself say this, but I honestly don't care. I'm just going to go with Ambrose just because I can.
No, I'm going to go with Wyatt.
Okay. But
The build-up's been weak.
weak.
I mean, they start off hot.
I have deodorant stronger than this build-up.
I mean, they start off really hot with that Hell in a Cell return of Wyatt. I thought it was one of the best comebacks as far as
Now,
return of wrestler.
I'll agree
they've
with
done in a
you
long time.
there. I will agree with you there. The only thing is, since then, they've done really, nothing. I mean, they've done all the traditional, you're standing in the ring giving your speech, I'm going to come out and sabotage you.
Right.
But nothing that was really compelling. Like
Right.
they could have really monopolized on that hologram idea, and they didn't do that.
Right.
Now, that could have some money involved with it, but I don't know. But they could have done something, but they just got me where I just flat don't give two flips of a monkey's butt over this one.
I think it's going to be the match that steals the show.
You think?
Yeah. I think when it comes down to their actual ring performance, to see what they got.
They did leave several avenues open because did you watched Raw in its entirety last night? Did you?
Actually, this is the first week since we record on Tuesday. I was not able to watch it this morning.
Okay. All right.
So
you
I've
didn't.
only caught highlights.
Well, did you watch the entire contract signing?
No, that's one thing I did not watch.
Okay. You will notice there is one thing missing.
Okay.
Nobody signs the contract.
Oh, really?
Everything just breaks down and they go to Fifth City, but the contract is never signed.
So could they actually, with 4 matches, could they actually have a possibility of Bray Wyatt not wrestling? Because I didn't sign the contract.
It's possible.
Oh, good Lord.
But I hate doing this because this is going to be a spoiler for you, but
That's fine.
Here's the way the teams are sizing up as far as we know right now.
I know the teams.
Okay.
The teams are pretty set, I think.
Okay. Who do you see for Cena?
Oh, it was announced last night. John Cena, Dolph Ziggler, of course,
Mm-hmm.
Big Show.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. It was Ryback, and one of the biggest surprise I didn't see coming was Eric Rowan from the Wyatt family.
That surprised the socks out of me. And they had a very disappointing moment last night too, where it faked me out, and I'm glad I was so glad I was faked out. But where Cesaro walks out, and he looks like he's going to be a member of Team Cena, and I'm just going, no, not him.
I would take that.
I know, no, absolutely, no. He is so second card.
No, really?
Mid card.
Why?
Mid card, and he'd be lucky if I'd put him there.
Oh my gosh!
Just not impressed with him.
I thought it'd be perfect. Have Cesaro Team Cena. I saw that and I read about it and I was like, they should have pulled the trigger on it. Have Cesaro, have the King of the Swing come back and have him doing the swing in the Survivor Series match. Oh, I think it'd be a huge pop.
However, interestingly enough, when they revealed that he was just Josh and Cena,
yeah,
he walks over to the Authority side.
Right.
Makes me wonder if the Authority lineup of Kane, Rusev, Mark Henry, and Luke Harper are really set in stone, or is Cesaro also going to be a part of that combination?
I don't think so. I think it's set. I mean, because you got the 5.
I love that combination, though, with Eric Rowan on one team and Luke Harper on the other team.
Yeah, it's interesting.
I think that was the only stroke of genius in last night's show, because quite frankly, I think last night's Raw was one of the worst Raws I've ever seen.
I think the only I didn't like Eric Rowan. I'm not a huge fan of him personally, just as I just don't see him being the break-off character from the Wyatts. I think it's definitely Luke Harper, which has been proven already.
I believe that's true, yes.
And I think this is WB's desperate attempt to try to make use of him by having him turn face and be in the main event.
You know, he's done some cameos over the last couple of weeks, and I'm kind of getting the impression he's going to give us both a very pleasant surprise. I'm kind of thinking, well, maybe this guy's got something. I was a little surprised at that lamb mask that he wears.
Right.
Because he brought it, he came down to the ring with it and took it off. And what surprised me about it was how cheap it was. I mean, it's nothing more than what is sold in the souvenir stands.
Yeah, it's all.
I thought his would be a little bit better quality.
Wait, how?
A little bit more durable.
Oh.
I mean, they sell the Rey Mysterio masks and things like that, and those are less durable than what the ones the wrestlers wear. And I thought at least his lamb mask would be that same category.
He probably uses a different one every show.
Yeah, he would have to, because there's no way that's going to last more than a show.
With Mankind in the sock, he had a new sock every show.
Did he really?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I did not know that.
Unless they wanted to build up on something.
No, I never change mine.
Oh, good Lord!
But I just stand them up in the corner at night, and they're good. They're good the next day.
And of course, you're not shoving it down someone's throat either.
Okay, we'll go with that. We'll go with that. Let's see. There was something else I was going to say. Well, oh gosh, it'll come back to me.
Okay.
I hope it will. I remember now. I was talking about last night's Raw being one of the worst that I've ever seen.
Okay.
You don't often hear the announcers mess up by doing an apparent jump of a script page on the script, but I think I caught one last night.
Okay.
There was a part where Michael Cole was saying something that wasn't quite matching what was on the screen yet. Did you see the match where Rusev and Mark Henry came out and interfered with the setup between the Big Show and Sheamus?
Yes.
Okay. When Rusev got into the ring and put the Big Show into the Accolade, the last time he did that, the Big Show passed out.
Right.
But he was in the hold for a good minute or two. You saw his face turn red, and then he passes out. In last night's performance, if you watch it very closely and listen, Michael Cole immediately, upon when he locks the Accolade on Big Show, immediately, not even 2 seconds have gone by, and he's going, Big Show has passed out. He hasn't been moving. And it's just like, oops, I'm on the wrong page of the script. And then a few minutes later, of course, he is passed out, and then he's just repeating the same lines again.
Oh,
it's the first time I've seen that happen, and within my memory, I'm sure it's happened before.
I'm sure he was getting an earful in the headset.
Oh, I'm quite sure. I'm quite sure, because it was not matching what we were seeing on the screen. Now, to Michael Cole's defense, at that particular time, they had already destroyed the announcer's table, so the monitors were gone. He didn't have his monitors that he could look at, so he really didn't see what was being seen at home unless they had it on the big screen there in the arena.
Right.
As you know, what they show on the big screen is not necessarily what you're seeing at home.
Correct.
So he was probably having to rely on that information alone and really couldn't see, and he knew it was coming up, so he just assumed it was there. It wasn't.
Ugh.
So he probably, you're right. He probably did get an earful.
Yeah.
But I thought the whole show was a bit of a downer just because of the fact they had the Authority winning over and over and over, and it was just getting a bit old.
But I like how it ended with Team Cena coming out strong.
Well, you remember last week I was telling you I'm not really sure Ryback is going to be on Team Cena.
Right.
I'm still not sure of it.
How you can't change it now?
Sure you can, because like I said, the contract was never signed.
Between Cena, you said between Wyatt and...
No, the contract for the Survivor Series.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the contract between Wyatt Ambrose.
No, I'm talking about the Survivor Series contract because that's what it was supposed to be.
Oh.
With the Authority in the ring, John Cena came out first. Of course, he was alone. One thing leads to another. All hell begins to break loose, and next thing you know, Dolph is coming to the ring. Shortly after that, Big Show comes down to the ring. Shortly after that, Ryback comes to the ring, and apparently he's joining Team Cena.
Right.
I don't know. I'm not completely
You can't turn him heel.
Pardon me?
You can't turn him heel.
Not logically, no.
I mean, there's no logic to it whatsoever. I mean,
No.
you've already been down that road. You already know it doesn't work.
I agree. So your point would be what?
My point would be, there's no train of thought. He's on Team Cena.
Or we might be looking at the wrong guy turning heel, though.
Who would turn heel?
Cena.
No. As much as I would love it, as much as I think it would be absolutely incredible, and probably one of the best shocking moments and best moments in wrestling in the past 5 years, possibly 10 years, it won't happen.
Well, I certainly hope it's not going to happen with Ryback. However, they did leave the door open.
God, that'd be so fun with Cena.
In as much as the contract was never signed, you saw it laying on the table, but of course that left the scene just as soon as Cena knocked the table out and told Stephanie to get out of the ring because they were going to get busy.
Right.
And from there on, you never saw the contract again. So it was never signed.
I'm still surprised that they didn't encompass Triple H.
He did get into the ring.
He got in the ring, but I'm still really surprised that he did not throw his name into the match. I really thought it's his reputation, it's his power on the line.
That's true.
You know, why not put it in his hands?
You know, I hadn't even considered that angle, but no, you make a very valid point that is out of his character a little bit to allow everybody else to have control over his future.
I think it's a power, or it's the ability to have Seth Rollins be the main heel on the company. I think that's the only logical thinking. Him or Rusev, because I see them two being the last two standing.
Okay, on each team, who do you see as the weakest link?
On team Authority, I'm going to say Mark Henry.
Really?
Is the weakest link.
Wow, that surprises me. I would have to go with Kane.
It'd be a toss-up between Kane and Mark Henry.
Why Mark Henry?
Just because of the fact he's just kind of a lame character right now to me. Whenever he's a heel like this, he's just there, kind of like Kane, really.
Yeah.
You could flip a coin, and I would probably would say something different tomorrow. But I would say Mark Henry or Kane. On Team Cena,
I'm going to hate to say this, but I'm going to have to go with Ziggler.
Oh no!
I mean, when you look at Cena, Ziggler, Big Show, Eric Rowan, and Ryback,
you're looking at size, though.
Well, yeah.
Because I would actually say Eric Rowan, it would be the weakest link, just because of the fact that we don't
experience,
and we don't know what we're getting with him.
I don't know, but yeah, you're right. No, I make no apologies for this. I'm going sheer bulk.
I mean, if you're looking at bulk, then of course, Dolph Ziggler is. If that's the case, then it's Seth Rollins on Team Authority.
Yeah, to me, Seth Rollins shouldn't be in it. Just shouldn't be that rated that high. I mean, he's just.
I think just character-wise, he's the better character out of them all.
He's a good performer. I don't want to take anything away from him. But I do think they need to work on his physique a little bit in order to get things rolling. Now, as far as backup matches are concerned, they certainly have some good water in that well they can go to. Like, for instance, putting a match between the Rabbit and what's his doofus?
Adam Rose?
Yeah, Adam Rose. Yeah. Have a showdown between Adam Rose and his Rabbit. Because I would like to, quite frankly, I'm surprised they haven't done it yet, but I would like to see him yank the Rabbit's head off to see who it is. I still think it's Darren Young.
Right.
And it certainly could be.
Now, we still got to predict who we think's going to win. Team Authority or Team Cena?
Man. I'm going to have to go with, I'm going to have to go with Team Cena only because I believe Stephanie and her Paul, her husband, Triple H. I think they're in need of a vacation.
Okay.
I mean, they've been working really hard for about, 6-7 months, and they haven't
Longer
taken a
than
week
that.
off. Yeah. So I'm looking at it just from that angle. I think this is going to be the storyline reason why you don't see them for a while, and they go off and have a nice needed vacation.
Okay. I'm going to disagree. I'm going to say Authority on this one. I think it's the Authority's opportunity to capture on the moment. I think they're going to. I see them taking care of Team Cena. On Team Cena, the way I see it breaking down is I actually see Team Cena knocking out one of Team Authority's guys early, and then I see Team Authority's team go on a roll. And so I think it's actually going to end up being 4 versus 2 on Team Cena. So I think it's going to be Cena and Ziggler sitting there facing Harper, Seth Rollins, Rusev, and take your choice on Henry or Kane.
Yeah.
And then it's going to go from there. But I think it's going to be Team Authority. I actually think Rollins and Rusev are going to be left standing on Team Authority.
I'm thinking Rusev is going to be one of the early departures.
Now I could see him and Big Show kind of like doing like a brawl all the way out to where it's a count out.
Right.
So that eliminates both of them. I can see that easily happening. And that wouldn't demolish the character anymore, in my opinion. So I can see that happening.
It'll certainly be some interesting turnouts. I'm just sad to see them so ill prepared for this pay-per-view. They've got so many different ways they could have gone, and they didn't.
Right.
Of course, I would hate to think that all they have lined up is the Survivor match, Fatal 4-Way, Ambrose and Wyatt, and the Divas match. I would hate to think that that's really all there's going to be.
I'm sure we're going to see some announcements come this week. Definitely a pre-show match. I think it's definitely going to happen. They always do it. I think some kind of pre-show. And heck, you probably hit it with Adam Rose versus the Rabbit. I think that could actually happen.
Yeah, and let's see, what other kind of matches could we possibly hope to see?
I know. Do you want to see Hornswoggle and the Bull again?
Nah. We've done enough short subjects for a while.
I mean, I think I nailed it earlier. I mean, having the NXT title.
NXT, yeah, absolutely.
I think having that on there. I mean, heck, they could have that on Thursday because it's a live taping of NXT every Thursday night. Have it announced that Adrian Neville is going to wrestle Sami Zayn for the title on Survivor Series. I think that would be a brilliant idea.
Now, I haven't been keeping up with NXT. Do they have a Divas category?
Yes, they do.
Oh, yeah? Anybody hot?
There are a couple of attractive ones, but actually probably the biggest name is a champion, which is Charlotte Flair, which is Ric Flair's
that's
daughter.
right. That's right. Yeah, okay, now this is clicking back in my head.
Yep.
I've got my mind almost totally on our current Divas. Yeah, and we could see, another thing they could do is another Divas match, maybe some kind of a something leading up to the next championship,
right?
Trying to earn that. I mean, they've got several things that they could throw in the fire.
They have so much young talent down there, and of course, we saw the release of the Great Khali.
Yeah,
so that frees up a roster spot.
I hear he had some pretty bad health issues.
Nah, it makes sense. He's like 8 foot tall.
Yeah, I know he has some pituitary problems.
And so, displaying the NXT talent, I think Adrian Neville or Sami Zayn is going to be the next ones called up. Phenomenal talents. They put on a heck of a match, and why not have the rest of the WB universe that doesn't have WB Network watch it for free?
Now, 1 week from tonight is going to be our Thanksgiving show, because it'll be the last show before Thanksgiving.
Go.
Yeah, maybe we'll pull out some old gobbledygooker.
I was going to say, are we going to have a tribute show to the gobbledygooker?
We'll have to be our first 15-minute episode ever. But I'm sure we can find out reasons we can be thankful for the WWE, even
Absolutely.
in its current state.
Absolutely.
We can find out things like that. Meanwhile, stick around, find out the latest information by keeping up with Main Event, Raw, or SmackDown, which is coming up, NXT, WWE Network, and a whole bunch more. And then join us right here next week on this little show we call SCI.